The Spotlight Multi, again, is a slightly different slice. We're talking about groups of entities that we want to aggregate. The Spotlight Multi report process, much like the dashboards and the reports before it, is exactly the same. You import data, it lands in Spotlight, you can move things around, you can adjust things if you choose, or you can come straight to the build report. It's exactly the same as we saw in Spotlight reporting. However, it does have some differences. So in this case, we're pulling together the data of so many entities, and we're bringing it all together in one. Like I mentioned, you can filter this down. I've got an organization filter here, so I can run a report for just a single entity, or I can multi-select and batch up a group. If I do want to kind of formalize those entities into zones or segments, then I can do that as well. And then I'd have a filter for, let's say, location. We have a cheesecake company that works in Spotlight Multi. They have approximately 260 different stores across Australia and New Zealand. They run reports by state in order to drill into how is this specific area of the empire working? What can we learn as the best performer from Victoria and the best performer from New South Wales? What are they doing different to everyone else in the group? So you can start to gain some really powerful insight here. As we work with the likes of the profit and loss and the balance sheet, great. The rankings and exceptions, KPIs, and visual scorecard, though, are unique to Spotlight Multi, and that's where a lot of the heft lives. I'll show you this rankings page very, very quickly. It's got a list view, so I can say, hey, I'm interested in these different metrics. If you don't want those ones, swap them out, or even build out your own KPI that you're looking to report on. There's many, many options there. As I do run this, the rankings for me in this case are highest at top, lowest at bottom. So I can start to see where people are in the stack. Like I mentioned, average, median, top three, bottom three. These metrics essentially, or let's call them stats and thresholds, can be used across the group. So if I'm wanting to even anonymize this, I can run a rankings page that is anonymized. So if I have that page, like I can see in the background here, I can give each one of these entities a code so that no one else can identify which store is which is each other. And then that's going to help me kind of saying, hey, your performance is here. In the scheme of the group, there's a number above you, a number below. And these are our averages that we're working towards. The comment that we had received from our cheesecake company is to be able to move from a position where we were paralyzed by 260 profit and loss statements to a position where we can just run this by segment, being location, and then drill into each store and say, hey, this is what we're looking. The operations people can then come to those bottom performers and help them lift the performance. We can start to learn patterns or trends that might emerge, and whether that be stock management or cost of sales, whether it be foot traffic, marketing, advertising. The list is enormous, but the insight gained from something like this is huge. There's also this one called exceptions, where you can, in fact, set a threshold. You can then see for something like revenue versus budget, profit versus budget, any outliers going to be marked in red. So in this case, I can see for revenue against budget, cherry, date, raspberry, and pomegranate are four that I might want to take a closer look at. In fact, for some of those profit lines, profit versus budget, you can see there's a bit of symmetry there too. So we're starting to weave the different layers together here. We started at the relatively small end of town, but now we're talking big end of town, large group that we are looking for aggregation in order to gain insight into rankings, exceptions, benchmarking, visualizing, and helping to really bring to light what those numbers are. That is Spotlight Multi. Before I move off, I'll also point out that you can prepare reports for individual entities within that head office or the different branches within that group. That's a really strong part here, and you can configure the user settings so that each franchisee has access to their own data and nothing else. If you're the preparer of this report, would have access to everything, but you can scale it down so that they're seeing just the slice that they need to see. Now, on that topic of kind of user permissions, there's a whole raft of different things that you can configure there. Security, though, is something that is so important to us. We are ISO 27K certified, and that means that we are recognized for taking our data protection, our security very seriously. It's really important to us that we keep your data safe, and for you, it's really important that your data is safe. So I figured that I'd just tack that in there.